All right. We are live. Jam-packed show today. So much Phoenix Suns stuff to talk about. It is not even funny. Real quick, you guys, before we get started, because you guys know how I am with this microphone and the setup and everything, just got to make sure we're sounding good on my end. Okay, I just listened to it. We're sounding good. Again, in the chat, let us know if we're looking and sounding good, because I want to bring you the best quality shows that I possibly can. So, like I said, you guys, so much to talk about today. We're going to talk about the Cam Payne trade rumors, which, like, about 30 minutes before I went live, there was an interesting tweet that just came out and some other related Cam Payne things. We're going to talk about the new Arizona family, Suns Mercury TV deal, Deandre Ayton being involved more in the Suns offense, and so much more. So strap in, everybody. Buckle up. Get ready for today's show. Thank you, Suns Fever, for letting me know we're sounding good. Even if you're watching later, do me a huge favor, y'all. Crush that like button. Share the show. Tell people about Suns Geek. That is the best way to support the channel, everybody, is just to tell people about Suns Geek and to just keep watching. So we got a lot to talk about. Also, there might be a guest at the very end of the show. So stay tuned for that. All right. Oh boy. Okay. So where do I even begin, y'all? This Cam Payne trade rumor thing, I believe it was reported a couple of days ago. I got to shut off my phone because my noties are blowing up. But it was like reported a couple of days ago from Jake Fischer of Yahoo Sports, who I have had once on this channel. I need to get him back on the channel soon. Real quick, if you want a recap of that, here is what Jake Fischer put in his report. He was talking about TJ McConnell, that there might have to possibly be a third team trade involved here, which we're going to talk about that in a minute because of like salaries and everything, and the Suns not having many assets. He talks about the New York Knicks and everything. So that was what was reported a couple days ago. I made a YouTube short about it, all that fun stuff. And I believe this comes from was this the same thing? Yeah, so this comes from Bleacher Report right here. They were sort of talking about TJ McConnell's, salary and how all that works, and it says Cam Payne is due to be a free agent in 2024, and re-signing him would carry a high cost beyond his salary when the Suns are on track to have 205, so pretty much $206 million payroll in 2024-25. McConnell, on the other hand, has a partially guaranteed $9.3 million salary. So pretty much what this all means is he'd provide cost certainty and perhaps even a lower cap figure than Payne will ultimately get from Phoenix or another team on the open market. Now, I saw, Bright Side of the Sun talk about this and a few others talking about this, and they kind of do make a good point here. Like, salary stuff aside here, salary cap. Actually, let me just pull up this little thing right here. Sorry, guys. Salary cap stuff aside, Cam Payne's contract, TJ McConnell's contract and everything, all that stuff aside. Again, kind of like Bleacher Report said, acquiring TJ McConnell will be I don't know how to say this. Like, I guess it's a little tougher to do. It's more easier said than done kind of a trade because we've exhausted all of our trade assets. And again, getting a third team involved for players like Cam Payne and TJ McConnell, is that even like necessary, I should say. Also this too. Again, I believe I read this on Bright Side of the Sun. From a Pacers perspective, does it really make sense? Because I'm on Spot Track right now, which is a really good website. And I'm looking at their 2023-24 salary cap. I'm just going to name some players that they have. They just signed Bruce Brown to that kind of big deal. He'll be making $22 million, I believe. They still got Buddy Hield. As of right now, they got TJ McConnell, Ben Mathurin. They got Tyrese Halliburton, Aaron Nesmith, Ben Shepherd, and Andrew Nembhard. Like, they have a lot of guards, kind of combo guards and everything, forwards. They're sort of assembling a pretty good squad over there, in my opinion. So again, if you take away all of the salary cap stuff, and I'm not trying to say like I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Cameron Payne, but like, do the Pacers really need a Cam Payne type player is what I'm trying to say. And again, I kind of read that on Bright Side of the Sun and some other places and all that. It's like, do the, contracts aside, do the Pacers really need a Cam Payne? And I'll say what I said in my YouTube short that I made. I actually really like Cameron Payne. I'm looking forward to seeing what Cameron Payne could potentially do with not only just this new, upgraded, talented Suns roster, but I want to see what Cam Payne can do under a head coach like Frank Vogel, who, by the way, speaking of Frank Vogel, we're going to talk about him a little bit later. So I want to see what he can do. It's a new system, new philosophies, new offense, new defense, et cetera, new coaching staff, on the exception of, returning offensive coach Kevin Young. So again, I know that this is sort of a shorter segment, if you will, even though I feel like I've been rambling on for 5 minutes now about this Cam Payne stuff. That's sort of just the reports, the updates, but I forgot to talk about this a few minutes ago. My apologies for forgetting this. Right before I went live, this was like 30 minutes ago, and I'm going to share my screen so you guys can see it. Cam Payne tweeted this out. Now, let me just zoom in here so y'all can see. Cam Payne tweeted this out. I'm not even joking you. Like 30, 40 minutes ago. Cam Payne, if you guys can see on the screen, let me just move that there. Okay, that looks beautiful. Okay. Cam Payne tweeted this out. Welp, let's get to it. 100 emoji. My apologies. I should have put that at the very beginning of the show. This was literally like 30 minutes ago. Cameron Payne tweeted this out. Welp, let's get to it. Now, I don't think that means that Cameron Payne's going to be traded. Maybe he's trolling. Maybe he's seeing these trade rumors and, again, maybe he's trolling. I don't know. Could be something. Could be nothing. And also, John Gambo of Arizona Sports just got back from his vacation. And from what I recalled, I didn't really listen to the full thing. From what I heard, he doesn't think that he's going to get traded, and the Bol signing is going to be official soon. He said Bol is going to be a Phoenix Sun. So again, this all could be nothing, or it could be something. This is just a rumor. That's kind of why I started with that Jake Fischer thing from a couple of days ago, and how there's got to be a third team involved and all that good stuff. And that's, this is sort of the latest update as of July 14th, 5:19 my time. So, yeah, that's the Cam Payne stuff, but it's a little crazy that Cam Payne tweeted that out right before I went live. I just wanted to share that with you guys. Cameron Payne tweeting that out, all the Cam Payne rumors. Again, I'll try to do my best to acknowledge the chat in the show, but let me know your guys' thoughts. Do you guys want Cam Payne traded? Would you want to see a TJ McConnell, on the Suns team? And real quick, if you guys are wondering my thoughts on TJ McConnell, I like TJ McConnell, sort of a combo guard, if you will, can kind of do a little bit of everything, can defend, can guard. I just said that he can defend. He can shoot is what I was trying to say. He can defend, he can shoot, kind of do a little bit of everything. I believe he was injured like a couple of years ago, only played in like so many amount of games, but is a pretty durable player for the most part. A U of A guy, kind of a fan favorite, seems to sort of be a target that Suns fans have had on their radar for a while. And again, going back to the Jake Fischer thing, he mentioned that TJ McConnell has been on the Suns' radar. So again, could be something, could be nothing. Let me know what you guys think of a potential Cam Payne trade. Let me know what you guys think of TJ McConnell, potentially getting traded to the Suns. And if you're a Pacers fan watching, do you guys even want a Cam Payne? Are you guys happy with your current roster? Because again, I kind of named some names, Bruce Brown, Buddy Hield, TJ McConnell, Ben Mathurin, Tyrese Halliburton, and then Andrew Nembhard and a few other guys. Like, are you guys set? Is your guys' offseason done? Let me know, Pacers fans, if you're watching. All right. We're going to move on to our next topic here. And this, there's a few different things. I don't really know the timeline of all of this, but Frank Vogel was doing some interviews, and we're actually going to listen to something Frank Vogel said. Shout out to Bridges Defensive Player of the Year on Twitter who uploaded the clip. Now, I didn't listen to the full interview and all that stuff. It's like a 30-second clip. He was being interviewed by Sirius XM NBA Radio, and I'll actually pull up the graphic and everything while you guys are listening to it. But let me just share this tab real quick. Go there. Okay, one-man show here. My apologies, you guys. All right, so here is what Phoenix Suns head coach Frank Vogel, and let me just lower this real quick too. This is what Phoenix Suns head coach Frank Vogel had to say on Deandre Ayton getting more involved in the offense and all that good stuff. I'm going to put on my headphones real quick so I can listen in with you guys. Again, Frank Vogel, Suns head coach on Sirius XM Radio. Here's what he had to say about Deandre Ayton.
I'm off to a great start with him from a relationship standpoint in terms of understanding that, if we want him to defend and rebound at an all-star level, then we're going to have to involve him a little bit more in the offense, and that's just basketball 101 from, you learn that as a youngster, you got to give those big guys the ball sometimes. And
looks like we're having a technical difficulty right there. Oh boy. Hold on, guys. Let's see if we can fast forward here. I'm scared. Let's try that again because we're having technical difficulties over here.
In terms of understanding,
are we still live? Are we still good?
If we want him to defend and rebound at an all-star level, then we're going to have to involve him a little bit more in the offense, and that's just basketball 101 from, you learn that as a youngster, you got to give those big guys the ball sometimes. And when they get it, then they'll run through a wall for you on the other end. So I feel like we're off to a great start with that. He's going to be a big part of what we do. I'm off to a great start with him from a relationship.
All right. So let me just click out of that. Okay. So again, we had a little bit of technical difficulties there. My apologies. Here is what he said. I screen capped this, I believe, from Arizona Sports. So this was the actual quote. He said he's off to a great, start with him from a relationship standpoint. And again, let me just, as you guys are reading this up on the screen, keep in mind that since day one, Frank Vogel, since day one of Frank Vogel being hired and the press conference and everything, Frank Vogel has talked very highly of Deandre Ayton. So that was the quote that you just listened to. He talks about getting him more involved on offense. That's basketball 101, yada, yada, yada. You got to give those big guys the ball sometimes. When they get it, they will, quote, run through a wall for you on the other end. So they're off to a good start. And one thing I like that Frank Vogel said here is I'm off to a great start with him from a relationship standpoint in terms of understanding that we want him to defend and rebound at an all-star level. That is huge. Because again, you guys remember what happened with Monty Williams and him? I talked about it on the channel. I'm sure it's not the last time that I'm going to talk about it and everything. Apparently, it was reported and pretty much proven, actions speak louder than the words, that Monty Williams and DA did not like each other. And I feel like that's something that we have known for a very long time. So again, if you guys are just joining the show, this is the quote that Frank Vogel said on Sirius XM Radio earlier this week at NBA Summer League, talking about getting DA more involved on the offense. But there was a part 2 to this, and I'm pulling up on the screen right now. Arizona Sports wrote about this. That will be Vogel's greatest challenge, leaning on Ayton to do more on defense by showing more capability of switching seamlessly between coverages more often, all while managing his desire to grow as an offensive force on a squad that can't manufacture touches more than traditional rim rolling situations. Frank Vogel also said, and I quote, now he's talking mainly offense here. Frank Vogel said, and I quote, I think we do, Vogel said. We're definitely more offensively talented than defensively talented on this team. There's no doubt about that. But if the big fella plays this year the way I think he can play and really anchors our defense, I think we can have guys really scrambling around the perimeter. I agree with that. Flying around and competing on the basketball, knowing that they've got that giant behind them, ready to block shots, rebound, and get us out on the fast break. So from what I'm gathering from what Frank Vogel said, again, we listened to the clip earlier. Here's the first part about, Frank Vogel talking about his relationship with Deandre Ayton, and getting him more involved on the offensive end. But then he talks about how the Suns are a better offensive team, obviously. But it kind of seems like Frank Vogel is really going to challenge these guys to do a little bit of everything. And is that fair to say? Because if we're just reacting off this quote right here, how Frank Vogel's saying we are way more talented offensively than we are defensively, but he says, I think we can have guys really scrambling around the perimeter, knowing that they got Deandre Ayton right behind him, all that stuff. So it seems like guys are going to be swarming on defense, running the fast break, and just battling on the boards. I think we're going to see a completely different Phoenix Suns team just in general. And I know that sounds kind of silly of me to say because we got a new roster and a new coaching staff, but it's real. Like, even though, sorry, I'm just double checking something real quick. Sorry, something's going on. Anyways, even though it's just Summer League, I kind of got that vibe from Summer League that these guys are going to compete on defense and they're going to be locked in and everything. And I don't know, it's going to be exciting, y'all. Like that first preseason game, and I know that sounds silly because it's just preseason. I'm going to be so locked in. I'm going to overanalyze everything from the preseason and especially overanalyze everything from the Suns' first couple of games because that will sort of be a teaser to how this Suns team is going to be on a nightly basis. And again, this is something that we can talk about later throughout the offseason, especially during the slow days. But I'm curious about how the lineups and rotations are going to go. I think there's going to be a lot of different lineups, and you're going to hear me say this word a lot. There's going to be a lot of experimenting out there from Frank Vogel, and rightfully so, because in my opinion, we are a super deep roster from top to bottom. And if I was in Frank Vogel's shoes, I would experiment all the damn time because, again, I've said this before on the channel. You'll hear me continue to say it again. You kind of want to experiment now. You want to figure out what works right now in training camp, in the preseason, during the regular season. That way you're ready to go in the playoffs. Because again, like we saw, in the playoffs, Monty Williams was just like, hey, let's just see if this lineup works. You know what I mean? And again, I love Monty and everything, but he definitely had his flaws. So just to recap, we're about 20 minutes in. Cam Payne, we talked about the Cam Payne trade rumors, and there's some sides like John Gambo of Arizona Sports saying that he won't get traded, that Bull signing is definitely going to happen. But then there's the side from Jake Fischer of Yahoo Sports, who, is reporting that this trade could happen and that the Suns are apparently exploring trade rumors. Also, real quick, I forgot to throw this in here. I don't know how I completely forgot to add this in here. Real quick on the Cam Payne thing, just the final thing. Flex from Jersey tweeted this out saying he can confirm that the Suns are in serious conversations about moving Cam Payne, and Flex says, I think it's good for both sides. Cam Payne is in a contract year, and his role in Phoenix with the new backcourt of Book, Beal, Gordon, Goodwin could be tough. A new team will provide more minutes for him. So, again, Gambo saying the trade probably won't happen. Jake Fisher saying that that they are exploring trades for Cam Payne. Then Flex says that they are in serious conversations about moving Cam Payne. But look at Flex's last part of this tweet. A new team will provide more minutes for him. So that doesn't necessarily mean it's the Indiana Pacers, because we already kind of went over the contracts and everything. And how all that works, and even a third team being involved, and is that even necessary? You know what I mean? Maybe that third team just hangs up the phone because they're like, we're not doing this. It's just unnecessary. Getting a third team involved for a Cam Payne, TJ McConnell trade. So Flex says, a new team will provide more minutes for him. So maybe there's another team that we're not thinking of. I don't know. If you guys got a good trade scenario for Cam Payne, let me know. And again, earlier in the show, I went over the Pacers roster. I even still have it pulled up. They had a pretty good offseason this year. I'm not saying they're going to be a contender right away. I don't even know if they're going to make the playoffs, but I think the Pacers are actually going to be a lot better. They might. I think they've had a great offseason is what I'm trying to say. Final thing on Cam Payne. Sorry that the conversation's kind of jumping from DA to Cam Payne. I forgot to read some stuff here. I got notes all over the place and screenshots. My apologies, guys. Final thing on Cam Payne, I promise. Unless he gets like traded while we're live. He was at Summer League, and I didn't catch the full interview, but there was a small clip of him going around where he said that he recently had dinner with Frank Vogel and, quote, worked out in front of him the other day, and Cam Payne called him cool, and he called him a champion. And also, if you missed it, Cam Payne was, I don't know if it was in Phoenix or wherever they were, if it was in Las Vegas. Cam Payne was working out with Mikal Bridges recently. There were some pictures that surfaced, so yeah, I don't know, you guys. Again, let me know what your guys' best trade idea for Cam Payne is. Trade scenario. Let me know. Could be something, could be nothing. And again, my apologies that the conversation's jumping around from Cam Payne to DA. Frank Vogel pretty much saying that DA is going to get more involved on offense. And yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We're going to have to see. Let me know all your guys' thoughts, comments, and opinions about the Cam Payne stuff and the Deandre Ayton on offense stuff. I'm just super excited, y'all. This team is going to be so fun to watch from an offensive and defensive standpoint. And just everything with DA, man. Just really seeing if Frank Vogel can truly get DA involved more on offense. But again, the fact that Frank Vogel is saying I'm off to a great start with him from a relationship standpoint is huge. And again, I've said this like a million times, but it's real. And I'm pretty sure Deandre Ayton did. But I really hope that Deandre Ayton watched Frank Vogel's press conference, or at least listened to it. Because like 10 minutes into that press conference, he was saying great things about DA. And then he followed that up during the Bradley Beal press conference, I believe. So yeah. All right, guys. Enough on Cam Payne. Enough on DA. Don't go anywhere, you guys. We're about 25 minutes in. We got so much more to talk about. We're going to react to some stuff. And then later, we're going to be having a guest join us at the very end of the show. So, all right, y'all. Let's move into our next thing. I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I don't really... we're still kind of getting information about all this and gathering all that stuff. But the Phoenix Suns have reached, and this is all like officially official, because I think we first heard about this in April. There was like a whatever going on, a court case with Diamond, whatever, and Bally Sports and all that. But it is official because we had a statement and everything that Gray Television wins the Suns and Mercury media rights. Now, I might read this whole thing to you because this is kind of the biggest takeaway here. And I'm probably butchering this name, but John Ourand, I hope I probably just butchered that name, says the Suns and Mercury media rights will go to Gray Television after all, since Diamond Sports opted not to match the deal that originally was announced in late April, the team said. In a statement emailed to SBJ, the Sporting Business News, the team's owner, Matt Ishbia, said, and I quote, I am excited to be able to deliver our Suns and Mercury fans this industry-shifting partnership. I love that. So Matt Ishbia is saying, and I quote, I am excited to be able to deliver our Suns and Mercury fans this industry-shifting partnership with Gray Television. This deal gives more than 2.8 million homes, 2.8 million homes across Arizona access to Suns and Mercury games for free. Biggest takeaway right there, y'all. 2.8 million homes across Arizona and Suns Mercury games for free. Sources said that Diamond Sports could not match the distribution to cover 2.8 million homes, yada, yada, yada. The Suns and Mercury have in-house ad sales teams that also made an ad sales component difficult to match, sources said. Wow. So you're probably like, Suns Geek, what does this all mean? I don't get it. Well, if you live in Arizona, you're going to get free the big takeaway there, free, Free, free Suns Mercury games. Which is awesome. It's going to be on Arizona Sports Family, which, by the way, I'll share my screen real quick. If you guys are looking, let me just pull this up real quick. My bad, guys. This is from Arizona Family's website. And by the way, all this stuff is linked down below. So if you guys want like a better look at it, but if you guys look at the screen right here, this is from Arizona Family. Arizona Family to broadcast Phoenix Suns games starting this season. There's a little video attached. It goes over everything I just read, Matt Ishbia's quote, yada, yada, yada. You can scroll down a little bit, and it's all there. So you guys can check it out and everything. Arizona Family will broadcast the Phoenix Suns games this upcoming season. Oops, my bad. I forgot to lower this. Sorry, guys. Here we go. That's what I was trying to share with you guys. Right there. So yeah, Arizona Family to broadcast Suns Mercury games, all that fun stuff. Again, let me just scroll down because I had the thing up on it. Here's the whole article. Go check it out. Link down below. Arizona Family, Suns Mercury game. So, and real quick, just to kind of end this segment, my good friend John from the Suns Jam Session podcast tweeted out, what does this mean for the fans that don't live in Arizona like myself and others? And from what the responses said, I guess we're going to still have to get the games on League Pass, I believe. But I will say this. Shout out to my friend Thunder Steve 85. He's been on this channel before. I was texting him about it, and he said this. And I guess Arizona Sports was talking about this too. He said, so this is how you stream Mercury games. I figured it would be the same app, maybe not. Apparently there's like an app. He said, apparently you can stream the Mercury if you have Amazon Prime, which I didn't know, but it also mentions Mercury Live, which is a website. And then he sent me like a link, how to watch Phoenix Mercury games over the air TV. And he said, I'm sure the app will be ready to go for preseason. Ishbia moves fast. So stay tuned. I'll try to keep you guys updated on how that's all going to work for people who live out of state like me. I'm just reading a follow-up tweet that he sent me, but we'll see. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I don't know. But yeah, just wanted to spend a little bit of time on that about the new Suns Mercury media TV rights. Now, real quick, y'all. Let me go to the next part here. My apologies, you guys. Let me click out of this. Let me click out of this. One-man show here, y'all. My apologies. All right. Let me pull up a tweet here. Speaking of Matt Ishbia, and I was texting, again, my good friend Thunder Steve 85, and we were kind of celebrating the fact that Matt Ishbia is just doing big things, you know, for the Phoenix Suns and all that. And I texted my friend saying that, and I've sort of been preaching this on the channel a bit, but Matt Ishbia not only is doing winning things on the court, but I keep saying, and I'm going to keep reminding people until Matt Ishbia doesn't do this, is that I feel like Matt Ishbia is going to win off the court. And that goes back to this whole Arizona Family stuff and the new Suns Mercury TV rights deal. So shout out to Vincent on Twitter here. He tweets out, Matt Ishbia became the new owner of the Phoenix Suns on February 7th. Since then, the Suns have traded for Kevin Durant on February 8th, provided free shirts for every Suns playoff game, made April 16th, quote, Suns Day in Arizona, pulled off the Bradley Beal trade, brought Suns Mercury games to local TV. So, again, I was talking to my friend Thunder Steve over text, and I feel like Matt Ishbia is also going to get really involved in the community and do big things for the Mercury as well. And I've seen the chat kind of talk about it. Like Coda Kid says here, the Arizona Diamondbacks need to follow suit. Exactly. I believe there's been a couple other NBA teams that are trying to do what the Suns are doing. So I could see a scenario where other sports and, you know, the Diamondbacks and all that do this as well. And don't be surprised if other NBA teams do this as well. So just wanted to spend a couple minutes, or as felt like more than a couple minutes on that. So let's move on to our next segment here. this was a little random. This happened a couple of days ago. I thought it was funny. Let me just, sorry guys, 1 man show here. My bad. Here we go. So this came from Bobby Marks. Now keep in mind, this was like a couple of days ago. He was talking about Damian Lee's contract, which stay tuned for that, by the way. So Bobby Marks, or is Josh Okogie and Damian Lee's contract, but he said, Phoenix used non-bird rights 120% off the vet exception to sign Josh Okogie. And he goes into the details and all that. And again, I'm talking about this for a reason. Pretty much boring stuff aside, he said, for example, when a player like Damian Lee signs for the veteran exception in 2 years, there's a 2.5 million and 2.8 million cap hit, yada, yada, yada. You guys are looking at the tweet right there. I'll scroll down. It's kind of a long tweet. Scrolling up and down, you guys can see it, right? Here's why I'm bringing this up, and we're not going to spend too much time on this. Damian Lee followed this tweet up from Bobby Marks, and I thought it was hilarious. You guys can see it on my screen. He said, damn, at Bobby Marks 42. Don't tell him everything. Don't tell him everything now, my boy. You got my social security number too. Shout out to J.O. though. I thought that was funny. It goes to show that players are just like us, and they see a lot of these big tweets. So again, Bobby Marks tweeted out some contract information about Josh Okogie and Damian Lee. I thought it was funny. If you guys want the full tweet, it's pretty much right there. But Damian Lee actually followed that tweet up, responding to Bobby Marks, which I thought was funny. All right, y'all. Speaking of contracts, speaking of signings and all that, I don't think this was necessarily a surprise. And I figured, and I think we knew about this before free agency kicked off, that the Suns were exercising the two-way contract of Saben Lee, and the Suns did make that official, everybody. I'm sharing my screen right now. You guys are kind of, let me just zoom out a little bit here so you guys can see what I'm seeing here. Some Saben Lee highlights right there. The Suns have brought back Saben Lee, which I'm excited for. You know, hometown kid, played for the Suns last year. Now, let's be real. This roster is super deep. He probably won't get very much minutes and all that. But is the dude going to work hard in practice? Absolutely. Again, super deep roster, but I'm excited for Saben Lee. Love the hometown connection, how he's from Phoenix and all that. Really looking forward to Saben Lee staying on this roster. And again, this sort of was announced before free agency started, but because they pulled the Jock Lendell thing, we weren't really sure. This was like the last kind of signing news in terms of my knowledge and everything that the Suns have done. So just wanted to throw that out there, that Saben Lee is staying in the Valley, and yeah, I'm excited for him. So, all right, guys. So what we're going to do now, I feel like we kind of went over everything. Did I miss anything? What I'll do is I'm going to just read some comments from the chat, and then we're going to bring on a guest, which I'm excited for. And we're actually going to react and show you guys some stuff. So let me just get to a couple of comments from the chat. Sorry if I missed anything. I'm just going to kind of read the closer ones here that are closer to the chat. Shout out to Backcourt Highlights, who says, I am so hyped for this. Matt Ishbia is him. DA, and I'm not going to read that comment. Let me see. Suns Geek, you need to reply to my post channel. I don't know what that means, Adrian. All right, y'all. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring in a guest who has been on this channel plenty of times before. Shout out to this guest, by the way, my good friend, DJ Ocho, who was generous enough to send me this awesome Summer League hat. And I got to stand up real quick. My awesome Summer League shirt that he sent me. We're going to react to some other things that he sent me, but we're going to bring him on the channel right now. And guess where he is, ladies and gentlemen? He is live from Las Vegas Summer League, somewhere where I should be, but I couldn't make it this year. We're bringing in DJ. How's it going, man?
Dude, I'm over here. I'm literally getting ready to do a PA announcement, so you guys might hear it live.
Let's go.
I'm in Cox Pavilion. It's the Knicks Celtics right now, so it's on NBA TV. Having a good time over here, man. Just doing some in-game hype, do some reads. It looks like the Knicks are up 27-12 on the Celtics right now.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, DJ Ocho has worked for Summer League for the last, what, like 6 years, maybe? 7 years?
2018. I started in 2018. Yeah, 2018.
Yeah, man. That's awesome that you're there right now. That's why we wanted to bring you on. I wanted to thank you again for the awesome Summer League stuff that you were generous enough to show me. Speaking of that, by the way, here is the other thing that I got from you. Another awesome Summer League shirt. Wanted to react to it live.
You're going to hear me do this read right now live, right?
Do it, man. Can you set it up while we do it, while I'm showing off my stuff?
They're going to tell me right now you're going to hear it, so you guys can do a little live here.
He also sent me a couple bags. Let me show you guys the bags.
All right, fans, find out if you've appeared on TV today during the NBA Summer League broadcast with the 15 seconds of Fame app. Scan the code up on the screen right now to find out how to use it.
That was it?
I thought it was going to be a little bit longer than that.
They're quick. All right, go for it. So we're about to do a. I'm gonna step away from where I'm at right now.
No, you're good.
If I can show you guys where I'm at, so you guys can see it. There you
Let's go. Let me full screen you. Hold on. I'm gonna full screen.
So I'm gonna turn the phone sideways. There you guys can get a little bit more video.
There we go. There we go.
We got some of the interns back here with me. We're about to do a half court shot right now. To hook people up. If they make a half court shot, we give them tickets to another day, another game, or we give them, prizes, shirts, hats like the one that you have. And then we're also doing something because it is WNBA All-Star Weekend out here in Las Vegas. They are doing what we call a trifecta, where they do a layup, they get a hoodie, they make a free throw, they get a jersey, an actual WNBA jersey, and they make the three-pointer, they get an autograph item. So we're about to do a half-court shot right now in between quarters. And then that's pretty much what we do, just nice the crowd up. We got people that help me out. We got interns that come out here and just, they're trying to get jobs with NBA teams. So we're out here, but here's what you guys can see.
Let's go,
Yuki
man.
right there.
Let's go.
Yuki right there. So
real quick, DJ Ocho, you said you met Amari Stoudemire because you sent me that picture.
Dude,
tell me about that.
I don't have a picture. Well, I don't have a picture with him.
Yeah. But you sent me
I sent you a picture of him. We literally were standing there about to do a pregame hype inside Thomas and Mack Center. And I get done doing the pregame hype, I turn around and I'm like, oh, it's Stat. And I'm like, can't get a picture because I'm on the mic, on the camera. So I was like, I just dabbed him up. He's like, good job, my boy. I'm like, thank you. So
that's awesome, man. That's cool, man.
So we're out here. If you guys are on watching the games on WNBA or NBA TV, you might see me walking across the behind the announcers, because that's where I'm at. They're usually right there in the middle. So by the way, before I go, because unless you guys want to watch this, I don't know if somebody can hold the phone for me. But anyways, the Suns games will be on Kiswe, which is the app. KISWE. They will be free and accessible. That was one thing I was reading about it. Diamondbacks, I doubt the Diamondbacks might follow suit with what's going on with Valley Sports and Diamond and all that, which is a total mess. The Padres are already left that. So we'll see. I'm glad the Suns are going to free TV. It's about time. Dude, people want free access to almost anything now, so you got to give them what they want. So I agree with it. I'm glad they did it. It's about time. So I got 15 seconds left. Cool. I'm going to go do this. If you're still on, I'll come back. If not, appreciate it.
Thanks for the Summer League stuff, man. I appreciate it, bro.
If you guys come down to Summer League this weekend, come look for me. I'm in Cox Pavilion today and tomorrow. So.
Awesome, man. Thanks for all the stuff, man. Thanks for being here, bro. Appreciate it, man.
Gotcha, man.
Yep. Later. All right, guys. So that was DJ Ocho live from the NBA Summer League, giving us a little behind the scenes there, doing his thing over there. Like I said, he's worked for Summer League for the past, like, since I think he said since 2018. And before I moved and before, you know, the pandemic happened, I was going almost every year, and it was an absolute blast. Lots of good memories and all that from Summer League. Unfortunately, the last couple of years I have not been able to go, but definitely planning next year. I want to go for at least 3 days and all that. And again, another reason we brought him on was because, let me just lower this. I'm going to just stand up real quick to give you guys a full look. As you can see, I got the Summer League hat on, got the Summer League shirt on, but DJ Ocho was nice enough to send me a Summer League bag, which is awesome. And not only that, sent me another bag, sort of like a nice little gift, and it's kind of cool. He's got this little clip thing there. I think you can bring this to the airport or something. I don't know. I'm stupid. But he sent me that. And then, as I showed you guys earlier, sent me this awesome Summer League long sleeve shirt. So just wanted to show you guys that. And again, another reason we brought him on was because he's at Summer League. He was generous to send me all that stuff. And I was like, hey, you want to join like towards the end of the show and everything? So, all right, guys, what we'll do, because I thought this show was going to be a little bit longer than because you guys know me, I at least normally go about an hour, but wasn't really the case with all that. The show was a little bit shorter than anticipated. I'll just read you one more thing on Saban Lee. And then if you guys want, get your questions in right now. Questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, theories, predictions. Let me know. Let's go another, 6-7 more minutes. Get your questions in right now. I'll read you the Saban Lee thing. If we don't got any questions, we'll just call it a wrap on the show. So last thing on Saban Lee. And I meant to say that, sorry, guys, this show has been all over the place. My apologies. But here's what James Jones had to say on the re-signing of Saban Lee. The Suns announced today that the team has re-signed guard Saban Lee to a two-way contract. Suns general manager and president of basketball operations, James Jones, says Saban Lee plays with toughness and aggression on both ends of the court. His point guard instincts and ability to attack the rim are crucial traits for us as we seek to build a better team. Close quote. And again, it's got all the information about Saban Lee from last season and all that stuff. So I just wanted to read that real quick. So if you guys got any questions, comments, concerns, get them in right now. This is sort of the free part of the show where we can just talk about whatever. Suns Geek Q&A. Big Merc 83 says Saban Lee is a decent player. I agree with that. Let me see. Let me just see if I didn't miss any questions here. I'll go up a little bit. Backcourt Highlights just asked a question, saving the day. I appreciate it. He said, Suns Geek, if the Suns are able to sign Bol, who should they release to free a spot? Also, who do you think the Suns' fifth starter should be? Or who do you think this should be the Suns' fifth starter? Thank you, Backcourt Highlights, for saving the day. All right, so we've sort of talked about this a lot. I remember we were sort of talking about it on the Suns Jam Session podcast and everything, and those two channel shows that we did with the Suns Jam. I'm going to kind of stick with what I've said before. I mean, as of right now, because again, especially since Saban Lee's just a two-way player, you're not going to let go of Saban Lee. I mean, is Ish Wainwright on a full contract? I hate to pick on Ish Wainwright here, but like, that's sort of my cop-out answer, because you do got to make room for somebody. By the way, speaking of speaking of two-way contracts, you can bring on 3 two-way contract players this year because of the new CBA stuff. And I'm assuming Ish Wainwright's under a full, not like full contract, but a contract that's guaranteed. That's not a two-way, right? So like, would Ish Wainwright be the one that's out? Because I don't know if you're necessarily going to get rid of any of our newer guys. But again, just before I went live, John Gambo, fresh off a vacation trip, pretty much said he doesn't think that Cam Payne's going to get traded, and Bol will definitely be a Phoenix Sun. That's what John Gambo of Arizona Sports said. So I don't know. Now, the fifth starter stuff, we've also had a lot of talk about that on this channel. I'm going to still stick with what I believe in. I'm going to say Josh Okogie. And here's why. Because you know that the Suns are going to do the, as Frank Vogel likes to put it, the multiple ball handler attack. And I just think that because Josh Okogie's been with this team, you know, because last year and everything, he brings the defensive experience and all that. And again, just seeing a Josh Okogie under a Frank Vogel type defense, I think he would be the starter. So you'd have point book, I guess, Bradley Beal, Okogie, KD, and Ayton. That's your 5 right there. But as I said earlier in the show, do not be surprised and try to have an open mind. Do not be surprised and have an open mind if Frank Vogel experiments a lot. Maybe Josh Okogie's in the starting lineup 1 week, and then maybe it's like, I don't know. Someone said Keita Bates Diop. Maybe, because first off, I think it was Adrian Wojnarowski or whoever reported it when the signing happened. I think it was Woj who said Keita Bates Diop will have potential to start. So there could be a lot of players. My brain is like fried and I'm forgetting who's on our roster right now. I'm still sticking with that Josh Okogie will start. That's just my personal opinion. Good question here from Samuel. Can Eric Gordon start as a point guard? Again, in my personal opinion, this goes back to experimenting. Maybe during some games, maybe during some matchups, I could see Eric Gordon starting. Is it going to be permanent? Probably not. And Eric Gordon has done a couple interviews at Summer League, and he seems on board with everything. He seems to really like Frank Vogel. He likes the Suns roster, and he wants to just win a championship here. So I don't think Eric Gordon's going to start. Could he? Absolutely. But will he permanently start? Probably not. Just like with Josh Okogie. Yeah, I want Josh Okogie to be starting. That's my pick for who would be our 5th starter. But I don't think that's going to be permanent. I think we're going to see a lot of guys in and out of the rotation, which again, could be good, could be bad. Even though I'm pretty high on the Suns experimenting this year, you don't want to experiment too much because that ruins chemistry and all that stuff. So, all right, you guys. Last comment here, and then we'll wrap it up and call it a day. I like Book at the 1, Beal at the 2, KD at the 3, Keita Bates Diop at the 4, and DA in the middle. That gives us a lot of shooting and size. That's fair. And I'm sure Frank Vogel and his staff have really put that comment right there. They put that all together. I'm sure they're figuring that out as we speak. Sports Locked in Arizona says, feels like Eric Gordon come off the bench is perfect. Have someone who can create their own shot. Exactly. I can see Eric Gordon coming off the bench a lot this season. I feel like he's going to get a lot of minutes, y'all. Call me crazy, but I think he's going to get a ton of minutes. Watchman WD says starting 5: Beal, Book, KD, DA, and Keita Bates Diop, male Diop. Adrian says we all want to win a ring and a championship. Exactly. Speaking of that, before we get out of here, just how perfect would it be not only for the Suns to win a championship after 56, 57 years, the first title in Suns history, but how great would it be to have a new owner, a superstar like Kevin Durant, a superstar like Bradley Beal, a deep, loaded Suns roster with a brand new TV media rights deal, new owner, new front office and all that, and then bam, you win an NBA championship. That's what it's all about. That's why you hire Frank Vogel. That's why you hire the coaching staff that we have. That's why you bring in Bradley Beal. That's why you trade for KD. That's why these notable players like Eric Gordon are signing for the vet minimum because they don't care about money. They've made plenty of money. They've been there. They've done that. They just want to win a chip. It would just be so perfect. And I will say this. We have to win in the next 3 years. I can't, your guess is as good as mine on who's going to win the chip this year. Obviously, I'm a Suns fan. I'm going to say, yeah, the Suns are going to win the title. I was saying that back when we sucked. I said the Suns are going to win the championship every year. but we have to win in the next 3 years. Backcourt Highlight says, I just want to say thank you, Geek. These live shows are so refreshing. Keep doing what you're doing, man. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, how did I forget to mention Devin Booker? I probably forgot to mention Devin Booker because he's been here for so long. You guys get my point. But yeah, thank you, Backcourt Highlights, for the kind words. You know me, man. I try to pump out the best Phoenix Suns content I possibly can for you guys. I say this every live show, but I mean it. There's plenty of great Suns content out there, tons of podcasts and all that. But I just do my best, y'all. One-man show here. And again, if it has to deal with the Phoenix Suns, I'm going to make a video about it. Before we get out of here, I know I said that like 5 times. I have a question for you guys. I was talking to a couple of friends recently, and we were talking about how there's a lot of Suns, like actual podcasts out there, like the Suns Jam Session podcast, Locked On Suns, all these other podcasts, right? And how they are like, they're everywhere. They're on YouTube, they're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? So I was talking to a couple of friends, and pretty much the point of what I'm getting at here is they were saying maybe I should sort of, quote, expand and put these live shows on like Apple Podcasts and Spotify. I want to hear from you guys before we get out of here. Is that something that you guys would want me to do? Because let's be real. I know some of you guys have kids and families and you guys are busy working and all that stuff. So would you guys want like a podcast version of these live shows? I'm sure it's easy to do. And then maybe, just maybe, I'll like do an actual podcast where I just sit and talk about whatever and bring on guests. Again, I'm keeping this channel strictly live shows, videos, YouTube shorts. This channel's never going away, right? But like, would you guys want a podcast version of this live show and other live shows? Let me know. I don't know. I'm a rookie. I'm an amateur when it comes to actual podcasting. Because again, I was talking to a couple friends about it. I get it. Like, some of you guys are busy. You guys have families and kids and jobs and all that stuff. Like, I want to know if you guys think that a podcast version of this stuff would be good for you guys. Let me know. I don't know. I'll probably be putting out a like not a survey, but like a poll or just a post saying, hey, you guys want me to start a podcast or whatever? I don't know. Adrian says, or real quick, Coda Kid says, there's plenty of content, but not Suns Geek. I appreciate that, Coda Kid. You're a real one, man. Adrian says, your podcast is the best, my man. I appreciate it. Sawbuck says he would listen to the podcast. Suns Geek, the best out there. I appreciate it. The Goon says a podcast virgin. I'm in. Lynn Sanity says Suns Geek podcast would be amazing while I work. I appreciate it. Yes, Geek, whenever you're ready. Yeah. Backcourt Highlights says podcast version would be lit. If Suns Geek YouTube show got canceled, we would riot. That's hilarious. And then Sports Locked in Arizona says, yeah, why not more content? Exactly. It's just another way for you guys to listen to these live shows. I mean, in reality, from a content creator's standpoint, I want you guys here on the channel. But at the same time, like, I'm on TikTok, which, by the way, I'm at like 950 followers over there, which is amazing. Like, that's not even my number one uploading platform, which, by the way, follow me on TikTok. Just scan that little tiny URL code right there. Follow me on TikTok. But yeah, 950 followers about over there. Crazy. So stay tuned. I'll keep you guys updated on the actual podcast of this. We'll see. And again, maybe every once in a while, I'll do like a podcast over there and then I'll upload it here. We'll figure it out. I'm a rookie. I got to reach out to some people to figure out how to do all that stuff. So, all right, y'all. Again, I try to drag the show on as long as possible. The actual main topics went by a little bit faster than I anticipated. And again, my apologies if this show was all over the place. But there was kind of a lot to talk about. I was like getting everything and I was like, holy crap, like there was a lot to go down. We had the Cam Payne stuff. the DA stuff, the Suns media deal and all that. And yeah, so yeah, I think that's it, y'all. Stay tuned. First off, you guys, thank you so much for all the amazing support. The videos have been blowing up lately. I appreciate it. And your guys' support means the world to me. Without you guys, I am just talking to a camera. And you guys pretty much help run this channel. That's why I like asking you guys' feedback. That's why I like hearing from you guys. So, but yeah, I think that's it. I'm out of here, y'all. God bless you guys. Have a great rest of your day. Crush that like button, everybody. Share the show. Tell people about Suns Geek. If you're watching later, let me know if you guys want a podcast version or if you guys just want me to strictly just stay on YouTube and all that. Follow me on TikTok, Threads, which is like the new Twitter. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Twitter, all that stuff. I love you guys. I'm out of here. God bless you guys. Stay safe. Peace out. And as always, if it has to deal with the Phoenix Suns, I'm going to make a video about it. As always, go Suns. Peace.